We're talking about food preservation because right now is the best time to buy fresh produce, herbs and vegetables. And Paula Roy is here from Ottawa at Home magazine. So you're going to talk about how we can preserve these.
Well, that's right. And last night's frost sent lots of people scurrying, or almost frost, scurrying out to their gardens. Tender things like herbs in particular are among the first to get frostbitten. So I want to show a few great ideas for preserving those herbs. You know, it bugs me in the winter when you have to buy a whole bunch of mint because you need 2 tablespoons for a dish.
I know.
That kind of thing. So these same tips could be used in the winter if you do have to buy herbs, but why not take what you've got in your garden or go to the farmer's market and get some now.
And you know what I was even saying, sometimes people, when you live alone, the bunch comes in, it's such a huge bunch, you can't go through it all before it goes to waste.
That's right. So what I've got here, first off, is thyme, which I really like. I use it a lot. It's very aromatic. It's great in soups with roast meats. You can lay it across a roast pork and it'll infuse the flavor. It lasts pretty well into the fall, but the stuff you buy in the store is like little tiny bits that are so small they have no flavor. So this stuff is just so much more aromatic. All I did was take these sprigs and lay them on a cookie cooling rack, throw them in the oven at about 150 Fahrenheit for an hour, and then the leaves just fall off the stems.
And then you have a dry
And then you have, so this was you know, 1 cookie rack full, and I've got a half a jar. So it's a great one. Mint is another one that it can be really tender with the frost. And what I like to do with mint leaves is lay them on a cookie sheet, not touching, freeze them. It takes about 2 hours, and then just grab the leaves and throw them in a Ziploc bag. And the advantage of freezing is that it preserves the essential oil in the mint, and that's what gives it a lot of its flavor and its aroma. So then you can just pull out a few leaves to throw in a soup or a stew. They're going to wilt anyway, so it doesn't matter that they're wilted in the freezer.
I love these tips.
Basil's another really great one. I love basil. I use it a lot. And what I like to do with that is chop it up, throw it in some olive oil, and put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. And then you can just open the bag when you need some and crack off a corner and throw it in your dish.
That's
and
amazing.
The color is perfect. You can see how bright this is, and it's been frozen for a couple weeks. And most things have a little bit of oil in them anyway, so the flavor is perfect.
That's awesome. I love these tips. I'm going to totally use all of these at home. Apples. It's apple season right now.
It is apple
Best time
season.
to pick them.
I'd pick them. You can go take your kids out and go to one of the orchards and pick them, or they're abundant at the farmers markets. But the price goes up. Like a bag of apples in the supermarket in January is going to cost you $6 for 4 pounds. That's a lot.
That is.
So at this time of year, why not get them while they're super fresh? You can slice them, as I've done here, and lay them out on cookie sheets and freeze them, and they're all set to go for pies and crisps and even muffins, anything. And it doesn't matter if they're a little bit brown because they're going to bake them anyway. So you don't have to put lemon juice or anything on them. Just leave them as is.
And I was going to say, they're actually not very brown at all. They're pretty white.
So I usually know how much goes in my pie plates, and I'll freeze bags of that exact size. Pull out one bag, you're ready to go. This is the perfect size for an apple crumble. If you're going to do a lot of apple preserving, suggest you get a peeler. This one was $10. They sell really expensive ones, and I certainly could not, I could not peel an apple as quickly as this little baby can.
Oh my gosh!
It's amazing. And
this is incredible!
I've had this thing for like 20 years, and it just works really, really well. It's a hardware store find. That's it.
That's amazing.
And then you're done. And like I said, no one can peel it that fast. Then all you need to do is lop the top and the bottom off where the peel didn't come off. And this machine came with a slicer, but you can find these anywhere. And you just run them down. You've got your slices, the core is out, and they're ready to be frozen. So super simple. So when I'm chopping apples, I also like to make applesauce.
And it smells so good.
And it smells so good. And a tip for making applesauce is to throw the peel in, and you get some nice pink flavor. Now it's also important to use a really heavy-duty pan. I really like this all-clad stainless steel saucepan because it's got 3 layers. It's really even heat. The apples won't scorch.
Gotta quickly taste this because we're out of time,
you can add in cinnamon if you like. Jeff is just going to jump right in there.
It smells so good.
But like I said, good pan, and your apples won't stick. People complain about them burning. They don't burn, they don't stick, and you're all set for winter.
And everything can be found on your website, ottawathome. You're the food editor. You can also buy the magazine, of course.
Yes, and recipes at constantlycooking.wordpress.com, my blog.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning. I've learned so many tips.